If you're just getting into the startup ecosystem, this video is for you. I'm going to explain to you in 1 minute or less how the startup world works. And I can guarantee you it is not like you thought it works. So here we go. You've had an idea or you've spotted a problem in the market and you've developed a passion to solve that problem. Then you've come up with a sample solution, some sort of solution that you think can solve that problem. And you've built it in a form that you can present it to the market. That is what is called an MVP, a minimum viable product, which is a solution to an existing problem that you can use to test out whether the market is, number one, cognizant of that problem, and number two, whether they are willing to pay for that problem or for the solution to that problem, and number three, whether they can pay a profitable price to you. So you take it to market, the MVP, maybe you get some traction here and there. Then you realize you need investors to actually grow fast. The first category of investors you need to approach are your relatives, your family, your friends, the ones that you think can put a shilling or two into that business. You explain to them, they don't get it, but they like you and they love you. So they say, oh, let's put this few thousand Kenya shillings into your business, and they do. And that helps you to get more traction. And you realize for me to actually scale even further, I need more capital. So now you want to approach the seasoned investors, the mainstream investors, which are the venture capitalists, which are private equity firms, etc. Now, it's no longer an MVP really, because you probably have paying customers, you probably have revenue, you probably have some profit. So you approach these guys, you ask for $1 million or $2 million, they say yes. They put it into your business, and in return, you cede some ownership of your company. So let's say, for example, you give them 30% of your company in exchange for $1 million. Now, here is where most people go wrong. Most people go wrong because they do not understand why seasoned investors, why these mainstream investors would put any single shilling into a startup. When you raise money, why are they giving you money? Are they giving you money because your idea is so good? No. Are they giving you money because, you're going to make a lot of profit? Maybe. But I want to actually break that bubble and tell you, investors will not give you money so that they can partake in the profits of your business. Profits are very negligible to mainstream investors, to venture capitalists and private equity. The only reason why they put money into startups is because they have already gauged and evaluated that this startup can have what we call an exit opportunity. An exit opportunity is where this startup gets acquired or is able to list in a stock market. Let's say the Nairobi Securities Exchange or the New York Stock Exchange or whatever. But that is usually a little bit far-fetched. So it's probably whether that startup can get acquired. And their hope is usually that when this startup runs for a few years, it can exit, it can get acquired, and they can be able to draw out their investment, but at a multiple. So if they gave you $1 million for 30% and your startup exits at after 5 years, and it exits as, let's say, 50 million, 100 million, that $1 million that they put in at 30% is going to immediately turn into $10 million. It's going to immediately turn into 15, 20, $30 million. That is the game they are playing. So from the get-go, the whole startup ecosystem is geared towards taking a startup from idea to exit, from idea to acquisition, from idea to being listed in a public stock exchange. But that is very rare, especially in the Kenyan market or in the African market. So therefore, if you're getting into the startup ecosystem right now and you're building a startup, you need to have what is called an exit plan. You need to have what is called an exit plan. An exit plan is a general draft of how you think you're going to exit in the next few years, in the next 4, in the next 5 years, in the next 6 years, 7 years. For example, a way you can approach that is by identifying a big player and tuning your startup so much so that it addresses a gap that big player does not address in their business model. Which means that, therefore, in the next few years, once you have grown and gotten, if they've become aware of you, they would want to acquire your startup, and therefore you want to exit. I know I've taken more than 1 minute, but it is what it is. Yeah. And before I forget, if you'd like to sell your startup, if you've gotten to 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, and you think it's time for you to exit from your startup, I encourage you to visit buybiashara.com. Buybiashara.com is a marketplace where you can buy and sell businesses. Cheers.